here's a machine that's under construction out there, and there's two of these machines built. They were built by Boeing Aviation, and it's called beam extender. Now, beam extender is a machine that comes out of the cargo bay of the space shuttle, rolls out to solar power cells here, and it goes to work. We call this thing the Space Spider, and you'll see why here in just a minute. What it can do is pulling the sheet metal off that looks like rolls of toilet paper. Well, that's Schedule 30 metal. It's shaping it into a triangular shape, flash welding, and moving from a raw product to a finished product, which looks like a telecommunication tower. And it's doing all this at a rate of 5 feet a minute.
Wow.
God, what a tough audience. All right. Let me put... You're so kind. Let me put that in Earth comparison terms so you can really go, gee. All right, now. The Seattle, Washington, in the World's Fair had the Space Needle Tower with a restaurant on top. It's a 500-foot tower. It weighs 8,660 tons. It took 50 men working 6 months around the clock to build this tower. With that beam extender, we can build a tower 160 feet taller than this structure here, but I don't need 50 men in 6 months. I can do it with 2 astronauts in 3 hours. Oh, wow, man. Oh, heavy metal, right? Okay. Why do you want to build something so big and so fast? Well, this is where it got interesting in the space program, because they learned new words over there called clients, customers, deadlines, budget restrictions, and if you finish within the budget and time, you got this weird thing left over called net profit. They've never seen that before. Now, here we have a customer that's paying for this grid to be built. Now, this grid is pretty big. We have, let's say we've got Columbia over here, Atlantis working right here. And actually, Atlantis is a pretty good ways from this dish. This dish is about the size of a football field. This is how big the grid is when we're through. This is Space Shuttle down here. This grid will be a half a mile across when we complete it. We'll push it 22,300 miles out in geosynchronous orbit, geostationary orbit. We use big words in science that mean simple things. We do that for job security. Anyway, it means the satellite turns the same speed the Earth turns, so it can focus 24 hours a day on one spot on the Earth. In this particular case, it'll be the continent of North America. Once this grid fires itself up, then it's going to turn you on literally. Well, how so? You're going to want to go down there and buy yourself an interesting looking wristwatch. Now, this wristwatch does everything. It does tell you time, but it does a lot of other things. It will hook into the grid, and when it does, you will have a telephone system that you'll be able to talk on. It will be a Pentium 150 computer. It will be a fax machine, all on your wrist. James Bond, move over. Or Dick Tracy, he done died. His watch done evaporated. You may be talking to Moon Maiden, though. But anyway, this wristwatch will change a lot of things as far as the cellular phone goes. Well, it's like a cellular phone. You know, what's the big deal? The big deal is this. This grid out in space. Let me ask you something about AT&T. Has it been beat up a little lately? You know, you ever heard of MCI, Sprint, Skyline, SkyTel, you know? Well, AT&T and Ma Bell sure has. And I was talking one day to a guy named John Mayo, the CEO of Bell Labs and AT&T. And he said, we're about to make a comeback here. I said, well, did you guys lose ground or something? He goes, well, yeah. He said, look at all these people coming in and stuff. And he said, he started smiling. He said, do you know we let them? We did it. They were in federal courts for 26 years in monopoly. Nobody could break the monopoly. Lawyers come in, listen all day, and go home. You know, retire off a case. Anyway, one day lawyers came in and told the judge who was reading the newspaper up on the bench, Judge, we're going to diversify and break up. Of course, the judge fell out of the chair and had a heart attack just about. The stock market, the bull market, had a cow in it. Joke, y'all. So anyhow, it gets worse. If you don't pay attention, I will throw some cow jokes on you you wish I hadn't. For instance, what do you call a cow with all 4 legs cut off? Ground beef. Now, anyway, they broke up and diversified and sold out their system and created their own competitors. Now, why in God's name would they do that? Because they're about to do something else. They're going to turn around and put all their telecommunications out on this grid. They'll get rid of all the telephone poles and wires. going to disappoint a lot of dogs anyhow. So this thing runs by solar power panels. No wind, no rain, no erosions, no unions, and no taxes. Now, we come back to the ground-based units, and what do they have? They have a system there that will serve them on the ground, and here's where it gets interesting. What, your phone bill's jumping up, you know, $2, $3 a minute, and they're trying to go down to a dime a minute, and now they're just, it seems like be a fierce war. Well, as they think that's something, they're going to drop on down to long-distance telephone calling, no long-distance billing. AT&T will be the only one to have it because they'll have this grid here, one down here, and it went from a monopoly on a country to global planet domination. That's technology for you. Now, it's like John Mayo said, come on man, we invented a telephone, you think you're going to get snaked out by Radio Shack? I don't think so. Why are they so generous? Because they like you? No, that's not it. The two words right here, complexity inversion. Because everything's inverted out on this grid and switching over to the systems and doing away with all the subsystems, which they're going to dump to the local municipalities, and they already had, because that's why they let in all the new other competitors, because they're going to dump the old system on them and jump out to the super systems that they won't have competitors, and they will make money hand over fist, because the main bulk of this thing is going to pick up on the mail systems and internet. They will make money, they'll make about $20 billion every quarter. They don't need your long distance billing.
What's the time?
Pardon? What's the time scale? About 6 years from now. Now, something else.
What do you call it, Big Brother?
What is it?
What do you call the system, Big Brother?
Big Brother? No. Maybe Big Mother from Mile Bell. Y'all are messing with me. I can just tell it.